I think what you said was, I'm going to kill that kid.
Yeah. That's what I said. It's my little brother. Fuck that. Fuck that. Inflatable arm ass motherfucker. Fuck you.
All right. We got to talk about this. All right, so Logan says he wants to fight Tommy Fury, but he doesn't. He might think he does, but he doesn't. There's a problem here in the understanding of what just happened, and I think it's not just Jake. And I gave Jake a little bit of a pass for the way he handled his loss, because I think in the moment sometimes you don't realize what all has happened. So for Jake to say, yeah, I was sick, I had all the things, I told him, yeah, you probably shouldn't say that, someone on your team should, and you saw BJ Flores come out and talk about it, the COVID, everything else, that's fine. But now that Jake has been on his show on BS and said, it wasn't anything Tommy did to me, it was more me, I'm starting to think there's a lack of understanding as to what has happened in this fight. And now it's bleeding into the Paul brother that couldn't shut his mouth while he was sitting ringside and had to trash talk Tommy and call him a bitch, a and say he was gassing just for Tommy to come out in the 5th round and dominate. Listen, I thought Jake had a great performance. I think time and experience are the things he's missing, but Logan has even less of those things, and him calling out Tommy is a real problem for multiple reasons. Number one, Jake is the guy in the fight. It doesn't feel like Logan has any stake or any hold in any fight with Tommy Fury or anybody else Jake fights. It does feel like an older brother syndrome, and I get it. You want to defend your younger brother, but Logan is not as good a boxer as Jake is. And I know that's going to sound controversial because Logan's a better athlete. Logan picked up the sport quicker. Logan has WWE and he has all these athletic features, but as a boxer, he is not very good. And if Jake can't get it done, what makes us think Logan will? Well, I'll break some things down and tell you, if you think that, you're wrong. So number one, what got Jake into trouble in the Tommy fight? Well, it was stagnation and the lack of a volume jab, or the lack of variety in his jab, or variety in his offense, and a little bit of deficiencies on defense. Well, what does Logan struggle with? An offensive puncher that has high volume. He doesn't throw a lot of volume himself in any fight. He has a lack of experience that we already said Jake struggled with and was one of the big reasons that he lost to Tommy. Logan's had 3 fights. 3. And really 2, because Floyd Mayweather was an exhibition that Logan was just trying to survive in. People, do we forget that Logan is not a volume puncher? He might have a great jab, but what's behind it? Have we seen anything? I'm not saying it's not there, but we have to use our eyes and say, we have seen nothing from Logan offensively to scare anyone and to stop running him over like Tommy would do in their fight. I'm saying it how it is, because what Logan's going to bring is more athleticism than Jake. Sure, he's a better athlete, but athletics didn't get it done versus Tommy. It can't just be a high-level athlete learning to punch. This has to be a boxer boxing with Tommy, because a fighter isn't going to do it. Tommy is already too well versed in the sweet science. No, Tommy's not a great boxer, but he doesn't have to be. He just has to be able to put together combinations in volume. And Logan saying he wants to defend his brother's honor is honorable, but it doesn't seem like that's why he wants to do it. There's a lot of pride there, and I think that Logan, to me, wants to show that he is the true boxer in the family. Maybe that's misreading from me, but the way he answers that question, oh, you want to fight Tommy? Yeah. A little bit of self-confidence, sure, but bordering on conceited when there's no history to back it up. In the sparring room, it's one thing, but when you have Tommy who's throwing 5, 6, 7 punch combinations, and Logan who does, for whatever reason, not, even in situations where he can, let his hands go. KSI was able to make Logan stop throwing twice. Floyd Mayweather kept him at bay. And again, it's Floyd, I get it. He's the greatest to ever do it. But he was also 5'5". And Logan couldn't control that fight with his jab. Is he gonna control Tommy with that long reach? And by the way, again, Logan called Tommy inflatable arms. As Logan took a look in the mirror, the guy's arms are more balloon-like than a circus clown. Like, those things are not made in any sort of substance that's legal in the US. So I'm just saying, if we're throwing accusations around, I think Logan should be the one heading. If we're throwing accusations around, I think Logan should probably pipe down. But again, I was impressed with Jake's performance. I think if anybody's taking that fight, it's Jake's fight to have. And I'm not trying to make this a family versus family thing, but I respect the hell out of Jake Paul because he's dedicated time to this sport. While Logan's doing Prime and he's doing WWE, Jake's in the gym. While Logan is scamming his fans out of some cryptocurrencies that he's never paid back, Jake's in the gym. What he's doing is putting in time into the game. It does seem a little nonchalant for Logan to just walk in and go, I'll fight Tommy and beat him. It's no big deal. Well, your brother just trained for 2 years to fight him, and Tommy beat him. This is not as easy as Logan may think it is, and the way he nonchalantly approaches everything else is not gonna cut it here. I get it. You wanna work hard, you wanna come back and redeem your family. That's fine. But taking Tommy Fury as some kind of joke will end the influencer boxing scene. Logan wants to get in there, he's gonna get run over. This is not something that you play as a side job. Boxing takes time, it takes experience, and Jake just learned that lesson. He just learned it. He showed in that fight that he has heart, yes, that he is a dog, that he's a great athlete. He had opportunities to beat Tommy with the right hand, but Tommy took him, and he came back, and he was throwing his volume. What makes us think Logan is any different? I want you guys to answer that. Send that to me on Twitter. Comment that below. What makes Logan different? Is it his jab? Because before the Tommy fight, we talked about Jake having a great jab. In fact, he controlled the Anderson Silva fight with a jab. So was it more Jake? Or was it more Tommy? Listen, you have to give credit where it's due. Tommy put on a great performance, at least for the level he is. I hate using the word dominate because Jake was in that fight. And again, I thought Jake put on the best performance he could have. Again, all respect to Jake Paul, all respect to their team. That dude impressed me. That dude showed me a different dog in that fight. And again, I've said this in my last video, Jake's gonna be more dangerous from that fight than you guys realize. So if there's gonna be a fight, and I don't think that Jake should do the rematch right now. He needs to fight KSI, get some more time, and then come back for the rematch. But if anybody deserves that fight, if anybody goes and gets Tommy, it's gotta be Jake. Logan can't just piggyback in, swipe in, and try to save the day, and again, get mowed over. This is Jake's fight. It's not Logan's to come in and step in. It's not Logan's to step in from the side after not training and say, I'll just go and do it, and put all his little brother's work to rest, to shame. That's what it'll do. Jake's taking this seriously. Logan takes it seriously sometimes when he's in camp. He works hard when he's in camp, but then he's gone. You have to commit to this sport. If he gets it with Tommy, right now, this year, he will lose. If he takes a year, year and a half, 2 years, cool. Get Logan in there, get him some fights, train, I'll sing a different tune. But right now, it's not that easy. This is Jake's fight, and Logan, for once, you couldn't do it at ringside, but please, stay out of it. Let Jake take the rematch. But what will Logan do? See, I don't have those answers. But what should he do? Let his brother fight Tommy in the rematch, if that's what Jake wants. But other than that, in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months, whenever this rematch clause is supposed to take place, I guess we'll find out.